Hello everyone, my name is S Comic Maker, and in today's video we're going to be steering off the path again and chat a little bit. In my last chat video where I talked about my teacher cursing at me in front of everyone in my class, I had a lot of people in the comments tell me that they wanted to see more videos like this, so in this video we'll talk a little bit about burnout. But if you want to see that last video that I mentioned, I'll leave an iCard here if you want to watch that as well. But I wanted to talk about burnout this week because I actually experienced it really badly about a week or two ago, and I thought that a great way to let those feelings out would be to talk about it. In one way, shape, or another, I think all of us have kind of experienced it this year. 2020 has been a doozy for me, and I know it's been a lot for a lot of you guys. So if anything in this video resonates with you and you just want to get it off your chest, you can absolutely use the comments down below to do that. So while I talk about this stuff today, you'll see me drawing a picture based on being burned out and also a gouache painting that I did for fun of one of my original characters, Zoe. So if you would like to grab a pencil and a piece of paper and draw with me while I talk, I would absolutely love that. And then if you draw anything that you'd like to share with me, of course, you can always at me on any of my social media. So 2020 has been a lot. There is so much going on in the world and in my life, and as some of you guys might remember, I took January off at the beginning of this year because my grandmother needed a lot of help. The past couple years have been pretty difficult for my family. My grandmother has Alzheimer's, and she recently, in December, had hip surgery and basically needed a full-time helper during the day as she was recovering, since she didn't really remember that she had surgery pretty much as soon as she got out of it and was constantly trying to walk. But, like I said, because she didn't remember, she would fall a lot and she kept hurting herself. So this took a lot of time away from me making art, and also was just a lot for me emotionally. But because of the current global situation that will not be named, visitors aren't allowed to see residents in memory care anymore. This did free up my time, but made me feel sad and guilty because now I couldn't see my grandmother this time. I was literally not allowed to. My grandmother's facility was actually the first in my town to get known cases of it, so it was a very scary time for me and my family. What was once seeing and helping my grandmother almost every day turned into me not seeing her at all since March. It's been a lot, but we're all getting through it. Less importantly, but still upsetting of course, was the plans that were canceled this year. My husband's family was supposed to come visit from Japan in April, and actually next week we were supposed to be going on a plane ride to Tokyo ourselves. I don't want to complain about this as much because, as disappointing as it is to lose this trip, more so for my husband who wanted to see his family, I'm more concerned obviously about our safety of course than anything else. But it really feels like one thing after another has just been happening back to back to back. It could just be one of those things where you can only see the negative things as they're happening when your world is bogged down by stuff like this, but I'm really trying to see the positive. But while trying to be positive about everything, about 2 weeks ago, it all kind of came to a head. Recently, my channel finally got monetized. Hooray! And first off, I just want to say thank you guys so much for this. I've been working on growing this channel for 2.5 years now with the goal of becoming a full-time artist. While financially, I am not quite there yet, this was by far the best thing that happened this year for me, and it validated all the hard work I had done and really encouraged me. But it also overwhelmed me a lot. With a huge influx of subscribers also came a wave of pressure. I went from April doing a 5,000 subscriber special to, as of now, hitting 50,000 subscribers. At the beginning of this year, I never thought at all that I would ever reach that number because that is just so many people, and I'm blown away, and I really can't thank you all enough for that. As it was all happening, I tried to be just like I always am and ride the wave, and I tried to continue to work in the flow that I normally would without letting it get to me too much, because while lots of people were coming in, I knew that when a video goes viral or semi-viral that the influx of people is kind of fleeting and not all of them stick around. The ones that stay and start coming to streams and commenting on videos, you know, are the ones that genuinely enjoy your content, but you can tell the ones that just kind of flood you at first are only there because of your growth. For those of you who stuck around, thank you so much. It makes me really happy that you like the art that I do and the content that I make. It's been really nice getting to know you in the comments of my videos, during live streams, and on my other social media. But back to the burnout. I really thought I was doing fine at first. I was making videos as usual, responding to as many comments as I could, responding to company emails, live streaming, keeping up with social media, and on it goes. People say it's important to keep up with everything like this as you grow because you can easily get bumped from the algorithm if you stop consistently posting content, and I was so afraid of that because, like I said, I wanted to be an artist full time and I didn't want to waste this opportunity that I was given. And I really sacrificed a lot to pursue this, and I know I have a lot riding on me to make my art work, and I want this more than anything, but I also didn't account for my limits. I've always been a person who kind of has like a one-track mind. If I'm working on my art, then I'm working on my art. If I'm doing a full-time job, then I'm doing a full-time job, like when I was teaching. And usually that's like my main focus. But this time I was really trying to juggle a lot all at one time. I was pulling all-nighters, drinking lots of coffee, and generally not taking care of myself physically. Top all of this off with cabin fever from quarantine, and you have a recipe for disaster. I was waking up on days to work on videos and having the hardest time pulling myself up out of bed. I would blame some of the sleeplessness on anxiety, which is really bad for me at night, but I've been living with it since I was a child, and I really don't like using it as an excuse. I believe that I could mentally pull myself past things like that. This was until after my Fall Guys video. I really enjoyed making that video. It's one of the most fun videos I've made in a while. I stayed up late and I even did an all-nighter stream with you guys one night. I also completely filmed and edited 2 videos that week. And then I was also in the works of talking about a collab video, which you guys have already seen. I was excited about it all, and I thought that I was ready to dedicate more of my time than I was already giving. And this was on top of saying no to hanging with friends or seeing family to work on things because I wanted my channel and art to succeed so badly. But then I finished that video and I was ready to move on to my collab video the next week. And I sat down to draw the art for the collab on Monday before it was supposed to come out. I got in front of my computer and stared at a blank canvas and I just started crying. At first I wasn't sure why. I felt fine just the day before, and then it hit me. I was burned out. It came suddenly and I felt tired. I just wanted to have a good cry and sleep all day that day. I had made plans to hang out with my sister that night because I had been telling her no that I couldn't for weeks because I was so busy, and I ended up just sobbing over a puzzle with her, and I just couldn't shake the sadness and I couldn't shake the fatigue, and Tony and I decided that I needed a break. And while that sounds logical, it also made me feel insanely guilty. I should be grateful for the success that I've had this summer. A lot of friends that I know have been working so hard and have been struggling, and I finally started to see growth like I had hoped and been working so hard for. And taking a break now, of all times, made me feel like I would be throwing it away, even if it was just for 1 week. I thought I should just push through it and keep going, but for the first time since I started making videos and drawing like I have been, I truly felt like I had hit a wall. I've seen so many other creators talk about burnout, and I thought maybe one day I would experience it, but I didn't think that it would come the way that it did, I guess, especially during the time that it did. Now, I don't know if it was also part of all the other stuff that was happening around me, but it really just hit me, and it hit me really hard. I pushed my collab video back by a week and decided that if I was feeling this way, maybe I should talk about it. So I sat down to draw, and I just became more and more frustrated. I was forcing myself to come out with something that just wasn't going to come out. I then thought about it, and I thought, if I had a friend or a family member that felt this way, what would I tell them? And I would have told them to stop. I would tell them that it's okay to feel that way, and that sometimes it's okay to listen to your body or your mind. Mental breaks are completely understandable too. Obviously, I wasn't quitting and I didn't want to take a long break, but even the idea of not posting a video for 1 single week both felt really good and really bad at the same time. So it's funny, when I decided that I was officially going to take that break, I remember talking to Tony, my husband, and telling him, okay, well, what if I then take the opportunity to instead just sit down and draw a bunch and film it all? Because that's what I would want to do, just to like make art for myself instead of making a video and like editing a video. And he said, no, you're You're not drawing anything. I said, okay, well, what if I take this time to, instead of making a video, what if I take this time to work on making stuff for the channel, like membership stuff or emotes or whatever? And Tony was like, no, you're not making anything this week. You're taking a break. It's like, well, what if I make commission examples? And I just kept going back to work and making things, and I just couldn't process the idea of taking a break and doing nothing. It even took me until the Friday before my Saturday video was supposed to come out to make a community post telling everybody that I wasn't going to make a video because I just was struggling with it for that long. And thank you to all the people who left such kind and understanding comments on my community post. It made stepping away for those couple days a lot easier. I think that some people get so wrapped up in disappointing others or in doing something bad that we oftentimes put ourselves in the back burner. I try to think about it like this. When I'm an old biddy, do I want to remember the time that I continued to push myself to the point where I really did break down or started to hate what I was doing? Or do I want to look back and remember my time making art and videos as a really positive one? I knew that it was time for me to take a break, and I know that it wasn't like multiple weeks or a vacation or anything. It was really only a couple of days, but I really appreciate you guys making even a small break like this a really positive experience for me. Technically, I still even posted a video on that Monday too for the tablet that I reviewed, but I think that I needed to take a moment to remind myself that I'm human. If you've ever experienced something like this with a job you've worked or with your studies in school, I just want you to know that it's okay. You aren't a robot. It's okay to feel overwhelmed or sad or angry, or even guilty, all of those things. You can't shut those feelings off, especially when the world is practically falling apart outside your door. Everyone gets sad and has moments where they don't want to or can't get out of bed or stay motivated. But when that happens, you might just need to take some time to snap yourself back into it. That Saturday that I was supposed to post, I played some games, saw my family, and refreshed myself to come back. It's important to get back into it, I think, though. If you continue to let yourself feel bad or sad and stop doing the things that you enjoy, you'll just get further from your goals and the cycle will get worse. Breathe and talk about it, whether it's to a friend, a loved one, or even just to yourself. Write down your thoughts or say them out loud, but get them out. That's what this video is for me. If you needed to hear this today from someone, then let me say it. You can do this. I see you. Work hard like you have been, but also work smart. Burning yourself out will only make your work and yourself worse. Take a break, breathe, and then come back and kill it. I'm rooting for you. And I probably can't respond to every single person if you comment on this video, but just know that if you say something, that I see it. I know that this is kind of a different tone than a lot of my videos, and that typically I'm an animated and upbeat person, but I also want to be real with you all. I think that there's this weird stigma with like YouTubers. It's weird to be categorized as that, but it's weird to think like YouTubers are celebrities on the internet, that they are just happy all the time and have the best jobs and all the friends and lots of love and that we're always happy making content all the time. But people are people, and we get sad or overwhelmed. We all have lives outside of the screen that you're watching. For me, I'm the type of person that doesn't spend money on really expensive things unless they're necessities. I don't buy jewelry or clothes or shoes. I always worry about money, and I saved money for a long while to be able to take a chance on doing this, so put a lot of pressure on myself to make it work. I remember commenting on a conversation happening in my Discord server where someone said that they wish they could buy something, and I was like, same. And then someone else responded by saying, you have X amount of subscribers on YouTube, you can afford that. And then I laughed because I was like, you're monetized on YouTube and you aren't making super clickbait videos. You know that YouTube doesn't pay much at all. But it made me realize that the pedestal people put creators on, there is so much luck involved in becoming popular or whatever. But there's also a lot of people who put tons of work and sacrifice in to make these kinds of things work. So I just wanted you guys to hear more of a human side of me that isn't scripted or planned. In fact, this video this week was supposed to be a graphic novel review, and that I can make mistakes like anybody else can. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for listening. I want my weaknesses to become my strengths, so I hope that this video was interesting or informative or helpful, or if anything, humanizing, I guess. I truly want to thank you all for coming to watch me draw and for supporting what I do. I'm getting closer and closer to making this dream of mine a reality, and I am so incredibly grateful to you all. Like I said, I might not be able to respond to every comment, but if you need a place to scream out that 2020 sucks into the void, if anything, let this video be the place that you can do that if you want to leave a comment about some of the stuff that you might have experienced this year. And let's just keep being human beings and putting our pants on one leg at a time. Or if you're crazy, jumping right into your pants, both legs. I don't know what I'm saying, but anyway. Thank you for watching or drawing along with me if you did. And then also thank you so much to my patrons who keep bringing me one step closer to making my goals a reality. And to each and every one of you who liked this video or any of my videos or commented or shared, I really appreciate you stopping by, and I hope that we can draw together again soon. Bye guys.